In a historic move, unprecedented in recent times, Canada has effectively sealed its western land border, a decision impacting all non-essential American transit headed towards Alaska. This closure marks a significant shift in border policy. The move is creating what can be described as a terrestrial island, isolating the largest U.S. state from the rest of the country by land. The closure is being rigorously enforced by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, known as the RCMP, and Canadian border agents, who are ensuring strict compliance. This is a full blockade, rerouting essential goods and causing significant logistical challenges for transportation companies. The impact on the supply chain is already being felt. The border closure is also cutting off ordinary American citizens from the ability to drive to Alaska, a route that many have relied on for decades, leading to considerable frustration and altered travel plans. Ottawa defends the decision, calling it a necessary step to protect national interests, safeguard public health, and maintain the integrity of its borders during uncertain times. Experts are calling it the most severe disruption to US-Canada movement in modern times, surpassing even the restrictions put in place during previous international crises. The world's longest undefended border, once a symbol of cooperation and mutual respect, now stands as a stark symbol of a deepening political and ideological divide, reflecting growing tensions between the two nations. The immediate trigger appears to be a complex mix of unresolved political disputes, simmering beneath the surface for quite some time. Environmental concerns, particularly regarding cross-border environmental impacts, have also played a significant role in escalating tensions. And underpinning it all is a firm assertion of Canadian sovereignty, a clear message that Canada intends to chart its own course on key issues. Canada cites instances of irresponsible American traveler behavior as a contributing factor, highlighting a perceived disregard for local rules and regulations. Furthermore, there's a growing sentiment that there's been a lack of US cooperation on key issues of mutual concern, leading to a breakdown in trust. The move signals a new era in Canadian foreign policy, one that is less accommodating, more assertive, and determined to protect its interests on the global stage. Economically, the border closure disrupts established supply chains, impacting various industries and potentially leading to increased costs for consumers. Politically, it's ignited outrage in the US, with many questioning the rationale and long-term implications of such a drastic measure. Socially, it separates families and communities that have historically enjoyed close ties, creating emotional and logistical challenges for those affected. The Alaska blockade is more than just a fleeting headline. It's not just another news story. It's a turning point in North American relations, potentially reshaping the dynamics between the two countries for years to come. Alaska, a land of immense beauty and strategic importance, is also a US exclave. Its geographical position presents unique challenges and opportunities. Separated from the contiguous lower 48 states by the vast expanse of Canada, Alaska's connection to the rest of the nation is intrinsically linked to its relationship with its neighbor to the east. To the north, it faces the harsh realities of the Arctic, and to the west and south, the vast, seemingly endless expanse of the Pacific Ocean. This isolation shapes its identity and its vulnerabilities. The Alaska Highway, a vital artery constructed during the urgency of Waputu, remains the primary land link, a crucial connection to the outside world. This highway stretches over 1,300 miles, a significant portion of which winds its way through the Canadian wilderness. For decades, this road has been Alaska's lifeline, a vital passage for families seeking connection and opportunity. It's also a route for tourists eager to explore the Alaskan frontier and for the essential supply trucks that keep the state running. The concept of free passage has long been a cornerstone of the strong US-Canada relationship, built upon a foundation of mutual trust, shared values, and the promise of reciprocal economic benefit. Now, however, Canada effectively holds the keys to Alaska's land access, and any disruption to this crucial artery has immediate and potentially severe consequences for the people and economy of Alaska. The blockade, therefore, leverages this inherent dependency, highlighting Alaska's vulnerability. It's a move that asserts Canadian influence in a way that has been rarely seen in recent history, challenging the established norms. Treaties and agreements once ensured smooth and predictable transit across the border, but now the delicate equilibrium that maintained that stability is undeniably shattered, leaving uncertainty in its wake. The highway, once a powerful symbol of international cooperation and shared prosperity, has now become a potential flashpoint of conflict, a tangible representation of simmering tensions. Alaska's unique and somewhat isolated geography has almost overnight transformed into a significant geopolitical pressure point. The simple lines on the map have morphed into a complex political problem, one that demands careful consideration and a solution that is far from easy to achieve. Canada's rationale is clear: sovereignty and citizen protection. Officials cite repeated violations by American travelers, unauthorized stops, ignored health rules, posing risks to remote communities. Environmental concerns are equally pressing: illegal dumping, wildlife disturbances, and ecosystem strain. Environmental groups back the move, seeing the highway as more than a thoroughfare. The blockade is also political leverage, signaling Canada won't be a passive partner. Public opinion in Western Canada is overwhelmingly supportive, demanding stricter border controls. The closure is both a principled stand and a response to domestic pressure. US reaction, led by Donald Trump, has been swift and furious. Trump calls the blockade a disgraceful betrayal by a so-called ally, dismissing Canada's reasons as phony excuses. He frames it as a personal insult and threatens tariffs and security reviews, demanding immediate reopening. His rhetoric rallies his base, casting America as the aggrieved power. Trump insists US support for Canada should guarantee transit rights, viewing the relationship as transactional. This approach leaves little room for compromise, escalating tensions. The idea that Canada could block Americans from Alaska is to Trump unthinkable. He emphasizes US economic and military support, expecting deference in return. The clash is fundamentally about sovereignty versus entitlement. This worldview collision is fueling the crisis. The blockade's real impact is on ordinary people. American families, like military personnel moving to Alaska, are stranded, facing costly, uncertain alternatives. In Canadian border towns, business owners fear economic ruin without American travelers, while others feel relief at the pause. Some Canadians see the closure as overdue, reclaiming control over their communities. Social media has become a battleground. Americans accuse Canada of holding Alaska hostage, while Canadians defend the move. The blockade has exposed deep cultural and political rifts between two populations long considered close friends. Personal stories highlight the human costs: separated families, disrupted lives. The border is no longer just a line, it's a wall. The blockade is a classic clash of national interests. Canada's priority: protect its land, people, and environment, asserting independence from its powerful neighbor. The move rebalances a relationship seen as too one-sided, leveraging geography for autonomy. For the US, Alaska is not foreign, it's a vital state, and blocked access is an unacceptable infringement. The land route is crucial for economic, civilian, and military reasons. Trump's aggressive stance is about defending US sovereignty and strategic interests. The conflict is a head-on collision: Canada's right to control its borders versus America's need to access its own. Both sides see their actions as essential, making compromise elusive. The gravity of this international crisis is best captured through the direct words and sentiments of those most deeply involved. Their perspectives offer a raw, unfiltered glimpse into the escalating tensions and the profound implications of the border blockade. Trump, addressing a fervent crowd at a rally, declared with characteristic bravado, "We are not going to be pushed around by anybody, especially not by a country that we protect. Trudeau will fold." This statement, laden with expectation and a hint of condescension, set a confrontational tone from the outset. This statement succinctly sums up a prevailing American viewpoint: an expectation of deference and compliance from its allies, particularly Canada. It reflects a power dynamic that many Canadians find deeply unsettling. Canada's official response, delivered with resolute firmness, was clear: Canada's sovereignty is not negotiable. The border will remain restricted until our laws and our land are respected. This unwavering stance underscores Canada's commitment to its principles and its refusal to be bullied. The Canadian stance is rooted in principle, not a desire for provocation or escalation. It's a calculated decision to defend its values and assert its independence on the global stage. A resident of Tok, Alaska, a town deeply intertwined with the border, lamented, "My whole life that border was just a formality, a line on a map that barely impacted our daily lives. Now it's a wall, a stark and painful barrier. My sister's in Alberta. I don't know when I'll see her again. This personal account highlights the devastating impact on ordinary people. The human cost of this crisis is undeniably real. Families are being torn apart, communities are disrupted, and the emotional toll is immense. The border closure has far-reaching consequences that extend beyond political rhetoric. A Yukon First Nations member offered a unique perspective. For years, our lands were treated like a highway, a convenient passage without regard for our rights or the environment. This closure, while difficult, presents a chance for the land to heal, to recover from the constant traffic, and for our voices to finally be heard and respected. These Indigenous perspectives add a crucial layer of depth to the narrative, highlighting the significant environmental and cultural stakes that are often overlooked in political discussions. These diverse voices, each with their own unique experiences and concerns, collectively reveal the complex emotional and political landscape surrounding the blockade. The crisis transcends mere policy disagreements. It delves into fundamental questions of national identity, shared history, and the profound sense of belonging that binds communities together. The powerful words emanating from both sides of this divide serve as a stark reminder of just how incredibly high the stakes have become in this tense international standoff. The Alaska blockade is unprecedented, but not without historical echoes. The Pig War of 1859 nearly sparked conflict over a border pig, but ended in peaceful arbitration. The lumber wars saw the US impose tariffs on Canadian wood, with Canada fighting back through trade bodies. After 9/11, the US sealed the border, disrupting lives and commerce, setting a precedent for security-driven closures. Historically, the US set the terms at the border. Now, Canada is asserting itself. The roles are reversed. Canada is using a physical blockade to protect its interests. This challenges old assumptions about power in the relationship. The current crisis is a bold departure from the norm, signaling a new era. Historians will see this as a pivotal moment in North American geopolitics. The old rules may no longer apply. The future of US-Canada relations hangs in the balance. The best hope is quiet diplomacy, new transit protocols, environmental safeguards, and a gradual reopening. But a prolonged standoff is possible, with tariffs, economic harm, and a toxic political relationship. The crisis could spark US efforts to build an all-American route to Alaska, deepening the divide. The blockade is a symptom of deeper political and cultural rifts. Healing will require more than a deal. It needs renewed respect and understanding. The world's most successful bilateral relationship is at a crossroads. The choices made now will shape its future for years to come.